It was supposed to be a routine flight, but as the plane soared above the clouds, a single slap would set off a chain of events that would change everything. When the flight attendant struck the CEO of the airline, she had no idea that her actions would ground the entire fleet and expose a web of secrets that could bring the company to its knees. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the bustling airport. Passengers hurried through the terminal, their excitement palpable as they prepared for their journeys. Among them was Marcus Reed, the CEO of Skyward Airlines, a man known for his sharp business acumen and a reputation that preceded him. He was a towering figure in the industry, but today, he was just another traveler, blending in with the crowd. As he boarded Flight 237, Marcus felt a sense of relief wash over him. After weeks of back-to-back meetings and negotiations, he was finally heading home to spend time with his family. He settled into his first-class seat, the plush leather enveloping him like a warm embrace. The flight attendants greeted him with polite smiles, but one, in particular, caught his eye. Jasmine, a new hire with a fiery spirit and a reputation for being outspoken. As the plane ascended, the cabin filled with the hum of conversation and the clinking of glasses. Marcus leaned back, ready to unwind, when he overheard a conversation between Jasmine and another flight attendant. They were discussing the company's recent layoffs, a decision that had left many employees in turmoil. Marcus felt a pang of guilt. He had made those decisions believing it was necessary for the company's survival. Moments later, Jasmine approached Marcus with a drink. "Mr. Reed, would you like a complimentary beverage?" she asked, her tone professional but her eyes betraying a hint of defiance. "Sure, I'll take a whiskey," he replied, trying to keep the conversation light. As she poured the drink, Jasmine's frustration bubbled to the surface. "It's easy for you to make decisions from your office while the rest of us deal with the fallout," she said, her voice low but firm. Marcus raised an eyebrow, surprised by her boldness. "I understand your frustration, but sometimes tough choices have to be made for the greater good." Jasmine's expression hardened. "The greater good for whom? The shareholders or the employees who are losing their jobs?" Before he could respond, Jasmine's emotions got the better of her. In a moment of anger, she slapped him across the face, the sound echoing through the cabin. Gasps filled the air as passengers turned to witness the scene unfold. Marcus was taken aback, his mind racing. He had never been disrespected like this, especially not in public. But before he could react, Jasmine stormed away, leaving him in stunned silence. The cabin buzzed with whispers, and Marcus felt the weight of their gazes. He took a deep breath, trying to regain his composure. But the slap had ignited something within him, a fire that demanded action. He reached for his phone and made a call to the control tower. "Ground the plane," he ordered, his voice steady but laced with authority. "I want all flights grounded until further notice." The operator hesitated, confused. "Sir, is there a problem?" "Just do it," he snapped, his patience wearing thin. "I'll explain later." As the plane began to descend, panic spread among the passengers. They had no idea what was happening, but the flight attendants were instructed to prepare for an emergency landing. Jasmine, still reeling from her outburst, was called to the front of the cabin. "What's going on?" she asked, her heart racing. "Mr. Reed has grounded the flight," another attendant replied, her voice tense. "We need to prepare for landing." Jasmine's stomach dropped. She had acted impulsively, and now the consequences were spiraling out of control. As the plane touched down, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Marcus stood at the front, waiting for the passengers to disembark, his expression unreadable. Once the cabin was empty, Jasmine approached him, her heart pounding. "I'm so sorry for what I did. I didn't mean to—" "Save it," Marcus interrupted, his voice cold. "You have no idea what you've done." "I was frustrated. You don't understand what it's like for us," she pleaded, desperation creeping into her tone. Marcus took a deep breath, his anger simmering beneath the surface. "You think I don't understand? I've sacrificed everything for this company. I've made decisions that haunt me every day. But you chose to slap me in front of everyone. Do you realize the implications of that?" Jasmine's eyes widened as the weight of his words sank in. "I didn't think—" "Exactly," Marcus cut her off, his voice rising. "You didn't think. You acted on impulse, and now we're both facing the consequences. The tension in the small cabin was palpable. Jasmine felt a mix of anger and regret swirling within her. I was trying to stand up for my colleagues, for the people you laid off. They're suffering, and you're sitting in your office making decisions that affect their lives. Marcus's expression softened slightly, but he remained firm. I understand the impact of my decisions, Jasmine. But there are complexities you don't see from the ground level. I have a board to answer to, investors to satisfy. It's not as simple as you think. Then why don't you try to make it simpler? She shot back, her voice trembling with emotion. Why not listen to us? We're the ones on the front lines dealing with the fallout of your choices. He paused, considering her words. You think I don't want to listen? I'm trying to keep this company afloat, but when you slap me, you undermine everything I've worked for. You put us all at risk. Jasmine took a step back, her heart racing. I didn't mean to put anyone at risk, I just wanted to make a point. Point made, he replied, his tone icy. But now we have a bigger problem. I've grounded the entire fleet. Do you understand what that means? Jasmine's stomach dropped. You can't be serious. You're going to ground all the flights because of me? Not just because of you, he said, his voice low. This is about authority, about respect. If I let this slide, it sets a precedent. I can't have my employees thinking they can act out without consequences. As they stood in the dimly lit cabin, the reality of the situation began to sink in. The flight attendants were still in shock, and the passengers were likely stranded. At the airport, confused and frustrated, Jasmine felt a wave of guilt wash over her. She had acted rashly, and now everyone was paying the price. Look, I'll take responsibility for my actions, she said, her voice softer now. But grounding the entire fleet? That's extreme. Marcus studied her for a moment, his expression unreadable. What do you suggest I do? Let you walk away without facing any consequences? No, she replied, her heart racing. But maybe we can find a way to turn this into something positive. Use this moment to address the issues within the company. Hold a meeting, talk to the employees, show them that you care. He raised an eyebrow, intrigued by her suggestion. You think that will fix everything? It's a start, she said, her voice steady. People need to feel heard. They need to know that their voices matter. If you want to be a leader, you have to lead by example. Marcus sighed, running a hand through his hair. You're asking a lot, Jasmine. But maybe you're right. Maybe this is an opportunity to change things. Then let's do it together, she urged, her determination shining through. Let's turn this situation around. You can show the employees that you're willing to listen, and I can help bridge the gap between management and staff. He considered her proposal, the tension in the air slowly dissipating. All right, I'll think about it. But you need to understand that this isn't just about you and me. It's about the entire company. Jasmine nodded, relief flooding through her. I understand. I'll do whatever it takes to help. As they exited the plane, the reality of the situation began to unfold. The airport was buzzing with activity, but the atmosphere was tense. Passengers were frustrated, and the media was already gathering outside, eager to report on the grounded flights. Marcus turned to Jasmine. We need to address this immediately. I'll hold a press conference to explain the situation, and you'll be there with me. Me? She asked, surprised. Why would you want me there? Because you're part of this now, he replied, his tone firm. You need to face the consequences of your actions, and I need to show that I'm willing to listen to my employees. Together we can turn this around. As they prepared for the press conference, Jasmine felt a mix of anxiety and determination. She had never imagined that a single moment of anger could lead to such a significant turning point in her career. But now, she had a chance to make a difference. The press conference was chaotic, with reporters shouting questions and cameras flashing. Marcus stood at the podium, his demeanor calm but authoritative. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. I want to address the situation regarding Flight 237 and the grounding of our fleet. Jasmine stood off to the side, her heart racing as she prepared to step into the spotlight. She had never been in front of the media like this, and the weight of the moment pressed heavily on her shoulders. Marcus continued. Today, an incident occurred that has sparked a necessary conversation about our company culture and the decisions we make. As leaders, he glanced at Jasmine, who took a deep breath and stepped forward. I'd like to add that this incident was not just about a slap. It was about the frustrations of our employees and the impact of corporate decisions on their lives. She said, her voice steady despite the nerves. We need to acknowledge that our workforce is feeling unheard and undervalued. The reporters shifted, intrigued by her boldness. Are you saying that the CEO is out of touch with his employees? One reporter shouted. Marcus raised a hand to silence the crowd. What Jasmine is saying is that we need to do better. We need to listen to our employees and create an environment where their voices are valued. I take full responsibility for the decisions that have led us here, and I'm committed to making changes. The room buzzed with murmurs, and Jasmine felt a surge of hope. Maybe this was the turning point they needed. We're proposing a series of town hall meetings where employees can voice their concerns directly to management, she continued. We want to create a dialogue, not just a monologue. Is this a PR stunt? Another reporter interjected. Or are you genuinely committed to change? Marcus met the reporter's gaze, his expression serious. This is not a stunt. This is a commitment. We will implement changes based on the feedback we receive. We want to rebuild trust with our employees and ensure that they feel valued. As the press conference continued, Jasmine felt a sense of empowerment. She was no longer just a flight attendant. She was part of a movement to reshape the company's culture. The media frenzy began to shift from outrage to curiosity, and for the first time, she felt like they were on the verge of something significant. After the conference, Marcus and Jasmine retreated to his office, the adrenaline still coursing through their veins. You did well out there, he said, a hint of admiration in his voice. I didn't expect you to handle the press like that. Thank you, she replied, still processing the whirlwind of events. But this is just the beginning. We need to follow through on our promises. I agree, Marcus said, leaning back in his chair. But it won't be easy. There will be pushback from the board and some of the higher-ups. They won't like the idea of opening up the lines of communication. Then we'll have to convince them, Jasmine said, her determination unwavering. We can show them that a happy workforce is a productive workforce. If we want to succeed, we need to invest in our people. Marcus nodded, impressed by her passion. All right, let's set up a meeting with the board. We'll present our plan and make it clear that this is the direction we're heading. Over the next few weeks, Jasmine and Marcus worked tirelessly to implement their vision. They organized town hall meetings, where employees could share their thoughts and concerns openly. The response was overwhelming. Employees who had felt silenced for too long finally had a platform to express their frustrations. As the meetings progressed, Jasmine witnessed a transformation within the company. Employees began to feel empowered, and the atmosphere shifted from one of fear to one of collaboration. Marcus, too, began to change. He listened intently to the feedback, and for the first time, he seemed genuinely invested in the well-being of his employees. However, not everyone was on board with the changes. During a board meeting, several members expressed their discontent. This is a waste of time, one board member scoffed. We need to focus on profits, not employee feelings. Marcus stood firm. If we don't address the concerns of our employees, we risk losing our best talent. A company is only as strong as its people. We need to adapt to survive. The tension in the room was palpable, but Marcus's resolve was unwavering. Jasmine watched as he fought for the changes they had implemented, and she felt a surge of pride. They were in this together, and they were making a difference. As the months passed, Skyward Airlines began to see positive results. Employee morale improved, productivity increased, and the company's reputation began to shift. The media, once focused on the slap heard around the world, now reported on the positive changes taking place within the company. Articles highlighted the town hall meetings, the open-door policy Marcus had implemented, and the renewed sense of community among the staff. Jasmine felt a sense of accomplishment as she watched the transformation unfold, but she knew that the journey was far from over. One afternoon, as Jasmine was preparing for another town hall meeting, she received a call from Marcus. "Can you come to my office? We need to discuss something important." Her heart raced as she made her way to his office. Had something gone wrong? When she entered, Marcus was pacing, a look of concern etched on his face. "I just got off the phone with the board," he said, running a hand through his hair. "They're not happy with the direction we're taking." "What do you mean?" Jasmine asked, her stomach sinking. "We've made so much progress. They think we're losing focus on profitability," he replied, frustration evident in his voice. "They want to revert to the old ways, to prioritize the bottom line over employee satisfaction." Jasmine felt a surge of anger. "But we've proven that investing in our employees leads to better performance. We can't go back to the way things were." "I know," Marcus said, his voice heavy with resignation. "But they hold the power. If they decide to pull funding or make changes to the executive team, we could lose everything we've built." Jasmine took a deep breath, trying to steady her racing thoughts. "We can't let them win. We need to show them the data, the improvements we've seen. We can't let fear dictate our future." Marcus nodded, but the worry in his eyes remained. "I want to fight for this, but I need your help. We need to gather evidence of the positive changes and present it to the board. We need to show them that this isn't just a trend. It's a new way of doing business." "Let's do it," Jasmine said, determination flooding her veins. "We'll compile testimonials from employees, productivity reports, and any data we can find that supports our case. We can't let them take this away from us." Over the next few weeks, Jasmine and Marcus worked tirelessly to gather evidence. They conducted surveys, collected testimonials from employees who had benefited from the new policies, and compiled data showing the increase in productivity and morale. The more they uncovered, the more convinced they became that they were on the right path. Finally, the day of the board meeting arrived. Jasmine felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as she and Marcus entered the conference room. The board members were seated around the long table, their expressions skeptical. "Thank you for joining us today," Marcus began, his voice steady. "We're here to discuss the recent changes at Skyward Airlines and the positive impact they've had on our workforce and overall performance." Jasmine stood beside him, ready to present their findings. "We've gathered data that shows a significant increase in employee satisfaction and productivity since implementing the new policies. Our town hall meetings have allowed employees to voice their concerns, leading to a more engaged and motivated workforce." As she spoke, she could see the board members exchanging glances, some appearing unconvinced. "But what about the bottom line?" one board member interjected. "We need to see profits, not just happy employees." Jasmine took a deep breath, ready for the challenge. "The data shows that happy employees lead to satisfied customers, which ultimately drives profits. We've seen a decrease in turnover rates and an increase in customer satisfaction scores. This is not just about feelings, it's about building a sustainable business model." Marcus chimed in. "We're not asking for a complete overhaul of our business strategy. We're proposing a balanced approach that prioritizes both employee well-being and profitability. If we can create a culture where employees feel valued, they will work harder and contribute to the company's success." The board members listened intently, but Jasmine could sense their hesitation. "We need to see results," another board member said. "If this doesn't translate into profits, in the next quarter, we'll have to reconsider these changes." Jasmine felt a knot tighten in her stomach. "We understand the need for results, but change takes time. We're asking for your support to continue this journey. Let's give it a chance to prove itself." After a tense discussion, the board members agreed to give the new policies a trial period of 6 months. Jasmine and Marcus left the meeting feeling a mix of relief and determination. They had won a small victory, but the battle was far from over. As the months passed, Jasmine and Marcus continued to monitor the changes within the company. They held regular town hall meetings, encouraged feedback, and celebrated the successes of their employees. Slowly but surely, the culture at Skyward Airlines began to shift. Then, one day, as Jasmine was reviewing the latest employee satisfaction survey results, she received an unexpected email from Marcus. The subject line read, "Urgent, meeting request." Her heart raced as she opened it. "Jasmine, can you meet me in my office ASAP? We need to discuss something important." When she arrived, Marcus was already there, pacing back and forth. His expression was serious, and Jasmine felt a knot form in her stomach. "What's going on?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "I just got off the phone with our financial analyst," he said, running a hand through his hair. "The numbers are in, and they're better than we expected. Our profits have increased by 20% since we implemented the new policies." Jasmine's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you serious? That's incredible." "Yes, but here's the catch," Marcus continued, his tone shifting. "The board is still skeptical. They want to see more than just 1/4 of good results. They're pushing for a complete overhaul of our strategy, and they're not convinced that this new approach is sustainable." Jasmine felt a wave of frustration wash over her. "After everything we've done, they still don't believe in us? We've shown them the data, the testimonials. This is proof that investing in our employees pays off." "I know," Marcus said, his voice heavy with concern. "But they're looking for a quick fix, and they're not willing to wait for long-term results. They want to cut costs and revert to the old ways." Jasmine crossed her arms, determination flooding her veins. "We can't let that happen. We need to show them that this is the future of Skyward Airlines. We can't go back to the way things were." Marcus nodded, his eyes reflecting her resolve. "You're right. We need to gather more evidence, more success stories. We can't just rely on 1/4's results. We need to demonstrate that this is a sustainable model." Over the next few weeks, Jasmine and Marcus worked tirelessly to compile more data. They reached out to employees across all departments, gathering stories of how the new policies had positively impacted their work lives. They highlighted instances of increased collaboration, improved customer service, and innovative ideas that had emerged from the newfound sense of empowerment. As they prepared for the next board meeting, Jasmine felt a mix of anxiety and excitement. They had a solid case, but she knew that the board would be tough to convince. "What if they still don't buy it?" she asked Marcus as they reviewed their presentation. "Then we'll keep fighting," he replied, his voice steady. "We've come too far to back down now. We believe in this and we need to show them why they should too." The day of the board meeting arrived, and Jasmine felt the weight of the moment as they entered the conference room. The board members were seated, their expressions skeptical as always. Marcus began the presentation, outlining the positive changes and the data they had gathered. Jasmine stepped forward, her heart pounding. "We've compiled testimonials from employees across the company, showcasing how the new policies have transformed their work experience. Here are just a few examples." As she shared the stories, she could see the board members shifting in their seats, some appearing more engaged than before. "These aren't just numbers, these are real people whose lives have been positively impacted by the changes we've made. This is about more than just profits. It's about creating a culture where employees feel valued and motivated to contribute." One board member raised an eyebrow. "But how do we know this is sustainable? What happens when the novelty wears off?" Jasmine took a deep breath, ready for the challenge. "Sustainability comes from continuous engagement. We're not just implementing changes and walking away. We're committed to ongoing dialogue with our employees. We'll continue to gather feedback and adapt our strategies as needed. This is a living, breathing approach to leadership," Marcus added. "We're not asking for blind faith. We're asking for a chance to prove that this is the future of Skyward Airlines. We've already seen the positive impact, and we believe it will only grow stronger." The room fell silent as the board members exchanged glances. Jasmine felt a flicker of hope. "We're asking for your support to continue this journey. Let's commit to a longer trial period, with regular updates on our progress. If we don't deliver results, then we can reevaluate." After a tense pause, the board members began to nod. "All right," one of them said. "We'll give you 6 more months, but we expect to see consistent results." Jasmine and Marcus exchanged relieved glances. They had won another battle, but the war was far from over. As they left the meeting, Jasmine felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were on the right path, but she knew that the next 6 months would be crucial. They had to prove to the board that their approach was not just a fleeting trend, but a sustainable model for success. In the following weeks, Jasmine and Marcus ramped up their efforts. They organized workshops, team-building activities, and brainstorming sessions to foster collaboration and innovation among employees. They encouraged everyone to share their ideas and feedback, creating an environment where everyone felt empowered to contribute. One day, during a brainstorming session, an employee named David from the marketing department presented an idea that caught Jasmine's attention. What if we launched a campaign that highlights our commitment to employee well-being? We could showcase the changes we've made and how they've positively impacted our team and our customers. That's a great idea, David, Jasmine exclaimed, her excitement contagious. We can create a series of videos featuring employees, sharing their stories. It will not only promote our brand but also reinforce our commitment to our workforce. Marcus nodded, impressed. Let's do it. This could be a powerful way to demonstrate our values to both our employees and our customers. As the campaign took shape, Jasmine felt a sense of pride in what they were building together. The videos showcased real employees discussing their experiences, the changes they had seen, and how they felt valued and heard. The response was overwhelmingly positive, both internally and externally. However, as the campaign gained traction, Jasmine received an unexpected call from a journalist at a major business publication. We've been following the changes at Skyward Airlines, and we'd like to do a feature on your new approach to leadership. Can we set up an interview? Jasmine's heart raced. This was an opportunity to showcase their progress on a larger scale. Absolutely. I'd love to share our story, she replied, excitement bubbling within her. The interview was set for the following week, and Jasmine spent the days leading up to it preparing her thoughts and gathering data to support their narrative. She wanted to ensure that the journalist understood the significance of what they were doing. On the day of the interview, Jasmine arrived at the office early, her nerves tingling with anticipation. The journalist, a sharp and insightful woman named Claire, arrived promptly. They settled in a conference room, and Jasmine began to share their journey. We've made significant changes to our company culture, focusing on employee engagement and well-being, she explained. We believe that when employees feel valued, they're more motivated to contribute, which ultimately leads to better results for the company. Claire listened intently, asking probing questions that challenged Jasmine to articulate their vision clearly. What do you say to critics who argue that this approach is too soft for a competitive industry? She asked. Jasmine took a deep breath, ready for the challenge. I believe that true leadership is about more than just profits. It's about building a sustainable business that values its people. In today's world, companies that prioritize employee well-being are the ones that thrive. It's not just a trend, it's the future of work. As the interview progressed, Jasmine felt a surge of confidence. She was no longer just a flight attendant. She was a voice for change, advocating for a new way of doing business. When the interview concluded, Claire smiled. Thank you, Jasmine. This is a compelling story, and I can't wait to share it with our readers. A few weeks later, the article was published, and the response was overwhelming. The feature highlighted Skyward Airlines' commitment to employee engagement and the positive changes that had taken place. It showcased Jasmine's journey from a flight attendant to a key player in the company's transformation. The article went viral, drawing attention from industry leaders and potential customers alike. Suddenly, Skyward Airlines was in the spotlight, and the board members who had been skeptical began to take notice. During the next board meeting, the atmosphere was different. The members were more engaged, and there was a sense of curiosity about the changes taking place. We've seen the article and the positive response from the public, one board member said. It seems that your approach is resonating with people. Marcus seized the opportunity. We're committed to continuing this journey. We've seen tangible results, and we believe that this is just the beginning. We want to invest further in our employees and create a culture that fosters innovation and collaboration. Jasmine felt a surge of hope as the board members nodded in agreement. Let's give this approach a real chance, another member said. We can't ignore the positive feedback we're receiving. As the meeting concluded, Jasmine and Marcus exchanged triumphant smiles. They had turned the tide, and the board was finally on board with their vision. However, as they celebrated their success, Jasmine couldn't shake the feeling that they were still facing challenges ahead. The industry was competitive, and while they had made significant strides, there was still a long way to go. She knew that maintaining momentum would be crucial. In the following months, Jasmine and Marcus continued to push for innovation and employee engagement. They launched new initiatives, such as mentorship programs and wellness workshops, aimed at fostering a supportive environment. The positive feedback from employees was encouraging, and the company culture continued to evolve. But just as things seemed to be on an upswing, a storm brewed on the horizon. One afternoon, Jasmine received a call from Marcus, his voice tense. "We need to meet. There's been a development." When she arrived at his office, Marcus was already there, pacing again. "The board has received some negative feedback from a few high-profile investors. They're concerned that our focus on employee engagement is coming at the expense of profitability. They want to see immediate financial results, or they might reconsider their support." Jasmine felt her heart sink. "But we've shown them the data. We've proven that investing in our employees leads to better performance." "No," Marcus replied, frustration evident in his voice. "But they're not seeing it that way. They want to see numbers, not just stories. We need to act fast to reassure them." Jasmine's mind raced. "What if we organized a showcase? We could invite the investors to see firsthand the changes we've made and the impact on our employees. We can present the data in a way that highlights our progress and potential." Marcus considered her suggestion. "That could work. If we can demonstrate the tangible benefits of our approach, it might help alleviate their concerns." They quickly set to work organizing the showcase, inviting key investors and board members to the Skyward Airlines headquarters. They planned a day filled with presentations, employee testimonials, and interactive sessions that would allow the investors to experience the company culture firsthand. On the day of the showcase, Jasmine felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. The conference room was filled with investors, board members, and employees eager to share their stories. Marcus opened the event, welcoming everyone and outlining the agenda. As the presentations began, Jasmine felt a surge of pride as employees shared their experiences. They spoke about the positive changes in their work environment, the support they received, and how they felt empowered to contribute to the company's success. The energy in the room was palpable, and Jasmine could see the investors beginning to engage. Then it was Jasmine's turn to present. She stepped up to the podium, her heart racing. "Thank you all for being here today. I want to share with you not just the numbers, but the stories behind them. Our employees are the heart of this company, and their well-being directly impacts our success." She shared data showing the increase in productivity, employee retention, and customer satisfaction. These aren't just statistics. They represent real people whose lives have been transformed by our commitment to engagement and support. When we invest in our employees, we're investing in the future of Skyward Airlines. As she spoke, she could see the investors leaning in, their expression shifting from skepticism to interest. After her presentation, a few investors asked questions, and Jasmine answered confidently, drawing on the data and testimonials they had gathered. When the showcase concluded, Marcus and Jasmine stood together, watching as the investors mingled with employees, discussing their experiences. The atmosphere was electric, and Jasmine felt a sense of hope. Later that week, they received feedback from the investors. "We were impressed by the showcase and the positive changes at Skyward Airlines," one investor wrote. "We believe in your vision and are willing to continue our support, provided we see consistent financial growth in the coming quarters." Jasmine and Marcus celebrated the news, but they knew that the pressure was still on. They had to deliver results while maintaining their commitment to employee engagement. It was a delicate balance, but they were determined to make it work. As the months rolled on, they continued to refine their strategies, focusing on both employee well-being and profitability. They implemented new marketing campaigns that highlighted their commitment to customer service, showcasing the positive experiences of their passengers. Slowly but surely, the company began to see the fruits of their labor. Profits started to rise, and customer satisfaction scores reached new heights. The board members, once skeptical, began to express their support for the direction the company was heading. However, just as things seemed to be stabilizing, Jasmine received an unexpected call from Claire, the journalist who had interviewed her months earlier. "I have some news that might interest you," Claire said, her tone serious. "There's been a major shakeup in the airline industry, and I think it could impact Skyward Airlines." "What do you mean?" Jasmine asked, her heart racing. "There's a rumor that a major competitor is planning to acquire Skyward Airlines," Claire said, her voice steady but urgent. "I thought you should know, especially given the progress you've made." Jasmine felt her stomach drop. "Who is it? And what do you mean by acquire?" "It's a well-known airline, and they're looking to expand their market share. If they acquire Skyward, it could mean significant changes for the company, especially after all the work you and Marcus have done to reshape the culture. Jasmine's mind raced. The thought of a merger or acquisition sent a wave of anxiety through her. What does this mean for our employees? For the changes we've implemented? I can't say for sure, but acquisitions often lead to restructuring, layoffs, and a loss of the culture you've worked so hard to build, Claire replied. I suggest you prepare for the possibility and consider how you want to respond. After hanging up, Jasmine felt a mix of dread and determination. She couldn't let all their hard work go to waste. She needed to talk to Marcus immediately. When she arrived at his office, she found him deep in thought, reviewing financial reports. Jasmine, what's wrong? He asked, noticing her tense expression. Claire just called. There are rumors about a potential acquisition of Skyward Airlines by a major competitor, she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. We need to prepare for what that could mean for us and our employees. Marcus's expression shifted from curiosity to concern. An acquisition? That could change everything. We've made so much progress in building a positive culture. If they come in and start making cuts, we can't let that happen, Jasmine interrupted, her resolve hardening. We need to be proactive. We should gather our employees, communicate openly about the situation, and prepare a plan to present to the board. We need to show them that our culture is an asset, not a liability. Marcus nodded, impressed by her determination. You're right. Let's call an all-hands meeting. We need to be transparent with our employees and reassure them that we're in this together. That afternoon, they gathered all employees in the main conference room. The atmosphere was tense as Jasmine and Marcus took the stage. Jasmine could see the worry etched on the faces of her colleagues, and it fueled her determination to address their concerns head-on. Thank you all for coming on such short notice, Jasmine began, her voice steady. We want to talk to you about some rumors that have surfaced regarding a potential acquisition of Skyward Airlines. A murmur rippled through the crowd, and Jasmine continued. We understand that this news may be unsettling, but we want to assure you that we are committed to maintaining the culture we've built together. We've made significant strides in improving our work environment, and we believe that our people are our greatest asset. Marcus stepped in, his tone serious but reassuring. We're actively monitoring the situation, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Our priority is to protect our employees and the progress we've made. We want to hear your thoughts and concerns, and we're here to support you. After the meeting, Jasmine felt a sense of relief wash over her. They had been transparent, and the employees appreciated the honesty. But she knew that the uncertainty of the situation still loomed large. In the following days, Jasmine and Marcus worked tirelessly to prepare for any potential fallout. They organized focus groups to gather employee feedback and concerns, and they developed a communication plan to keep everyone informed as the situation unfolded. As the weeks passed, the rumors intensified, and Jasmine felt the pressure mounting. The board was anxious, and the media was buzzing with speculation. Skyward Airlines was in the spotlight, and Jasmine knew they had to act decisively. One evening, as she was leaving the office, she received a call from Marcus. We need to meet. The board has called an emergency meeting to discuss the acquisition rumors. Jasmine's heart raced. I'll be right there. When she arrived, the boardroom was filled with tension. The board members were already seated, their expressions serious. Marcus stood at the front, ready to address the group. Thank you for coming on such short notice, he began. We're here to discuss the rumors surrounding a potential acquisition of Skyward Airlines. We need to decide how to respond. One board member spoke up. We can't afford to be passive. We need to take action to protect our interests and our employees. Jasmine felt a surge of courage. I believe we should reach out to the competitor directly. We need to understand their intentions and express our commitment to our employees and the culture we've built. We can't let fear dictate our future. The board members exchanged glances, some nodding in agreement. That's a bold move. The room fell into a tense silence as Jasmine's words hung in the air. Marcus nodded in agreement. It's the only way to take control of the narrative. If we wait for them to make moves, we risk losing everything. We've built. A senior board member leaned forward, fingers steepled. You're suggesting we initiate negotiations. This is unprecedented. Jasmine took a deep breath. Yes, but we need to show them the value in what Skyward Airlines truly represents, not just as an asset on a balance sheet, but as a company with heart, culture, and loyal employees who deliver exceptional service. This isn't something that can be easily replaced, Marcus added. We'll be clear. Any talks must guarantee protection for our workforce and preservation of our core values. After a brief consultation, the board chairman spoke up. Very well. We'll authorize you both to open dialogue with the competitor. But tread carefully. One wrong step could accelerate acquisition attempts rather than slow them. Over the EE. Next days, Marcus and Jasmine engaged in delicate negotiations, navigating corporate protocols and veiled intentions. They were surprised to learn the competitor's interest was driven largely by market expansion, but the planned acquisition disregarded the distinct culture Skyward had cultivated. Recognizing the risk of losing the spirit that set Skyward apart, Marcus and Jasmine proposed an alternative, a strategic partnership focused on shared resources while maintaining Skyward's autonomy and employee-centric ethos. The competitor's executives were intrigued but cautious, requesting detailed proposals and assurances. Back at Skyward, Jasmine rallied employees for their continued engagement despite the uncertainty. We're fighting for more than just jobs, she reminded them. We're fighting for a future where we are partners in a company that respects and values us. Weeks passed in a blur of meetings, presentations, and tense waiting. Then, the company received the news. They had secured a partnership agreement that would offer financial stability without sacrificing their culture or workforce protections. The announcement was met with overwhelming relief and joy. Skyward Airlines would retain its identity, empowered by collaboration rather than takeover. Standing next to Marcus at the company's celebratory event, Jasmine reflected on their tumultuous journey, from a slap on a plane to transforming an entire corporation. She smiled and whispered, "We turned a last flight into a new beginning." Though the partnership had brought new stability, Jasmine sensed the winds of change still blowing strong within Skyward Airlines. With external pressures eased, internal challenges began surfacing. The rapid growth, while promising, brought its own complexities, communication gaps, evolving team dynamics, and mounting expectations. One morning, Jasmine received an urgent message from the head of customer experience. "We're seeing mixed feedback on recent service changes. Some loyal customers feel the airline is losing its personal touch." Jasmine sighed, knowing this was the delicate balance they always faced. Innovation versus tradition. "Let's set up a focus group," she replied. "We need to hear directly from our passengers about what matters most to them." Meanwhile, Marcus grappled with strategic decisions involving infrastructure upgrades and sustainability goals. Balancing environmental responsibility with profitability was tougher than anticipated. Late one evening, Jasmine and Marcus sat together in his office poring over reports. "We fought hard to keep our culture intact," Jasmine said quietly. "But culture needs nurturing, or it fades." Marcus nodded. "And that means reinvesting in our people, upgrading training, and staying connected to our values even as we scale." Their shared resolve deepened. They launched Project Flight Path, an ambitious plan blending new technology with personalized service, employee well-being programs, and green initiatives aimed at reducing their carbon footprint. To rally the company around this vision, Jasmine organized a company-wide summit. As employees gathered, she addressed them with passion. "Change is the only constant, but our foundation remains, the respect we have for each other and the passengers we serve." At the back of the hall, a young flight attendant caught Jasmine's eye. Their eyes met, and the attendant nodded knowingly, an unspoken affirmation of the journey still ahead. Jasmine realized then that leadership was not about reaching the destination, but about guiding others through every challenge and triumph along the way. And so, the story of Skyward Airlines continued, resilient, evolving, and soaring ever higher. The days following the company-wide summit were electric with renewed energy. Employees embraced Project Flight Path with enthusiasm, eager to contribute to the evolving legacy of Skyward Airlines. Jasmine and Marcus worked hand in hand to ensure that every initiative lived up to the promises they made. However, change often invites unexpected challenges. One morning, Jasmine received a call from an influential industry regulator. "We've noticed irregularities in your recent safety audits," the voice said gravely. This is of serious concern, and we may need to conduct a full investigation. Jasmine's heart sank. Despite all their focus on culture, innovation, and sustainability, could they have neglected standards that were foundational? Gathering her core team, Jasmine confronted the issue head-on. We will cooperate fully, she declared. Safety is non-negotiable. Marcus joined the effort, reaching out personally to reassure stakeholders and customers. Transparency will be our strength, he told reporters. We are committed to addressing any concerns swiftly. The investigation revealed that rapid expansions had stretched compliance teams thin, creating gaps in documentation rather than actual safety procedures. A relief, but a stark wake-up call. Swift corrective action followed. New compliance officers were hired, training programs revamped, and technology implemented to bolster oversight. During this trial, Jasmine found herself tested in unprecedented ways. Yet, support from employees inspired by the path they'd walked thus far never wavered. One evening, Marcus looked across their shared office space. This company shows its true colors, not when skies are clear, but when storms rage. Jasmine smiled. Let's fly through that storm together. Their story, far from over, was now defined by resilience, accountability, and an unwavering commitment to rise, no matter the turbulence ahead. The storm stirred more than just internal challenges. Whispers spread throughout the airline, industry and media about Skyward's safety investigation. Competitors seized the moment to launch aggressive marketing campaigns, capitalizing on Skyward's vulnerability. Jasmine and Marcus recognized that the battle extended beyond compliance. It was now a fight for the company's reputation and survival. In response, Jasmine proposed a bold strategy: complete transparency. She suggested live-streamed Q&A sessions, where executives openly answered employee and customer concerns. Some on the board felt it risky, fearing exposure to criticism. But Marcus stood firm. Trust is built in the light, not the shadows. Together they organized the first public forum. The room was packed, not just with employees but loyal customers and media representatives. Jasmine and Marcus faced tough questions about safety, culture, and future plans. Their honest, unvarnished answers surprised skeptics and began rebuilding trust. Behind the scenes, Jasmine worked closely with pilots, crews, and ground staff, reinforcing Skyward's commitment to safety and culture. She traveled frequently to hangars and terminals, showing leadership was not confined to corner offices. Her presence reinvigorated teams, reminding everyone their voices mattered. Meanwhile, Marcus negotiated with regulators to exceed compliance standards. He championed investments in new safety technologies, making Skyward not just compliant, but a leader in airline safety innovation. Months passed with relentless effort. Financial reports began to reflect steady growth. More importantly, customer satisfaction soared as passengers noticed and appreciated Skyward's renewed dedication. Surveys showed employees felt proud to be part of a company unafraid to confront challenges openly. One evening, after a particularly successful quarterly report, Marcus and Jasmine stood on the rooftop garden of headquarters, overlooking the city lights. This journey has tested us beyond measure, Marcus said quietly. Jasmine nodded. But it's also taught us that leadership is about showing up, taking responsibility, and inspiring others to do the same. He smiled, adding, "We've turned what could have been a downfall into an opportunity to innovate and lead." Their eyes met, partners in a journey still unfolding, ready to face whatever skies lay ahead. As the months rolled on, Skyward Airlines began to regain its footing, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever. The transparency initiatives had not only restored customer trust, but had also fostered a renewed sense of pride among employees. The culture of accountability and open communication became a hallmark of the company, and Jasmine and Marcus were determined to keep that momentum going. However, just as they were beginning to feel a sense of stability, a new challenge emerged. During a routine meeting with the board, a member raised a concern that sent ripples of anxiety through the room. "We've seen great progress, but our competitors are innovating rapidly. We need to stay ahead of the curve, or we risk losing our market share." Jasmine felt a familiar knot in her stomach. "What do you suggest?" she asked, her mind racing with possibilities. We need to invest in technology that enhances the customer experience, the board member replied. Things like AI for personalized service, advanced booking systems, and even exploring electric aircraft for sustainability. Marcus leaned forward, his brow furrowed. Those are significant investments. We need to ensure that any new technology aligns with our core values and enhances our culture, not detracts from it. Jasmine nodded in agreement. We can't lose sight of the human element. Technology should empower our employees and improve the passenger experience, not replace it. After the meeting, Jasmine and Marcus brainstormed ways to integrate technology while maintaining their commitment to personal service. They decided to host a series of innovation workshops, inviting employees from all departments to contribute ideas on how technology could enhance their operations. The workshops were a hit. Employees shared creative ideas, from AI-driven customer service chatbots to mobile apps that allowed passengers to customize their travel experiences. Jasmine was thrilled to see the enthusiasm and creativity flowing from her team. As the workshops progressed, one idea stood out: a Skyward experience app that would allow passengers to personalize their journey from booking to arrival. It would include features like real-time updates, personalized recommendations, and even a loyalty program that rewarded passengers for their engagement. Excited by the potential, Jasmine and Marcus decided to move forward with the app's development. They partnered with a tech firm known for its innovative solutions, ensuring that the app would be user-friendly and aligned with Skyward's values. As the app neared completion, Jasmine felt a sense of anticipation. This was more than just a technological upgrade. It was a way to deepen the connection between Skyward and its passengers. They planned a grand launch event to unveil the app, inviting employees, customers, and industry leaders. On the day of the launch, the atmosphere was electric. Jasmine stood on stage, flanked by Marcus and the tech team, ready to present the Skyward Experience app to the world. Today, we're not just launching an app, we're launching a new way to connect with our passengers, she began, her voice filled with passion. This app embodies our commitment to personalized service and innovation. As she demonstrated the app's features, the audience erupted in applause. The excitement was palpable, and Jasmine could see the potential for a new chapter in Skyward's story. However, just as they were basking in the success of the launch, a news alert flashed across the screens in the venue. A major competitor had announced a groundbreaking partnership with a tech giant, promising to revolutionize air travel with advanced AI and automation. Jasmine's heart sank. We can't let this deter us, she said, turning to Marcus. We need to double down on our unique value proposition, our commitment to people and culture. Marcus nodded, determination in his eyes. Let's leverage the app to highlight our human touch. We can create marketing campaigns that showcase how technology enhances the passenger experience without losing the personal connection. They strategized. Jasmine felt a renewed sense of purpose. Skyward Airlines had faced challenges before, and they had emerged stronger each time. This was just another opportunity to prove their resilience and commitment to their values. In the weeks that followed, they launched a marketing campaign that emphasized the Skyward Experience app as a tool for enhancing personal connections. They showcased stories of employees going above and beyond for passengers, highlighting the human element that set Skyward apart from its competitors. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Passengers embraced the app, and customer satisfaction scores soared. Jasmine and Marcus knew they were on the right path, but they also understood that the journey was far from over. As they prepared for the next phase of growth, Jasmine reflected on how far they had come. The challenges they faced had only strengthened their resolve and deepened their commitment to their mission. Together, they were ready to navigate whatever skies lay ahead. As Skyward Airlines gained momentum with their new app and renewed focus on personalized service, Jasmine and Marcus understood that real success required innovation not only in technology and culture, but in leadership itself. They began investing in leadership development programs, ensuring future managers embodied the company's values of transparency, empathy, and accountability. One evening, during a routine operational review, Jasmine received a cryptic message from an anonymous source. The message hinted at a hidden vulnerability within their new systems, an undisclosed cybersecurity flaw that could compromise passenger data. The sender urged them to act quickly before the flaw was exploited. Alarmed, Jasmine immediately alerted Marcus, this could be catastrophic if true, she said, worry tightening her chest. Our passengers trust us with their personal information. A breach would not only damage their trust but also destroy everything we've built. Marcus agreed. We need to investigate this without tipping off potential hackers. Let's assemble a trusted task force and run comprehensive audits on our systems. Pooling resources, they enlisted the help of their IT security team and external cybersecurity experts. The investigation uncovered a sophisticated vulnerability buried deep within the third-party software integrated into their app. Thankfully, no breaches had occurred yet, but the risk was imminent. Jasmine convened an emergency meeting with senior leadership and the board. This isn't just a technical issue, she declared. It's a test of our responsibility to protect our customers and uphold our integrity. Together, they prioritized immediate action. Developers worked round the clock to patch the vulnerability, while communications teams crafted transparent messages for customers, reassuring them Skyward prioritized data security above all. The press caught wind of the issue despite their careful handling, and speculation swirled. Jasmine faced a barrage of tough questions in interviews, but she stood firm, emphasizing Skyward's commitment to transparency and proactive measures. Over time, Skyward's open approach earned praise for honesty and swift action, even as competitors faltered under similar breaches. Employees rallied around Jasmine and Marcus, inspired by their unwavering dedication. Yet, Jasmine recognized this victory was tempered by a new reality. Modern leadership demanded vigilance far beyond boardrooms and customer service. It required anticipating unseen threats and adapting swiftly without losing sight of human values. Late one night, as Jasmine gazed out over the city skyline from her office window, Marcus joined her. "Our journey's never truly ending, is it?" he mused. "No," she replied softly, "but that's what makes it worth flying." Their partnership, born from unexpected adversity, had transformed not only a company but themselves, prepared for any turbulence the skies ahead might hold. The weeks passed. The cybersecurity incident became a pivotal moment for Skyward Airlines. The company emerged not only with a fortified system, but also with a renewed commitment to proactive risk management. Jasmine and Marcus recognized that they needed to embed a culture of vigilance throughout the organization, ensuring that every employee understood the importance of security and accountability. To reinforce this, they launched a comprehensive training program called Skyward Secure, aimed at educating employees about cybersecurity best practices and the importance of safeguarding customer data. The program included interactive workshops, simulations, and real-life scenarios to engage employees and empower them to be the first line of defense. During one of the training sessions, Jasmine noticed a young intern, Mia, who was particularly engaged. After the session, Mia approached Jasmine with a suggestion. "What if we created a security ambassador program? We could have volunteers from different departments who would champion cybersecurity awareness and help their teams." "Stay informed." Jasmine's eyes lit up. "That's a brilliant idea, Mia. It not only fosters ownership but also creates a network of advocates across the company. Let's make it happen." With Mia's help, the Security Ambassador program was launched, and employees from various departments signed up to take on the role. This initiative not only enhanced security awareness, but also strengthened interdepartmental relationships, as ambassadors collaborated to share knowledge and best practices. As Skyward Airlines continued to grow, Jasmine and Marcus also recognized the importance of sustainability in their operations. They had made strides in reducing their carbon footprint, but they wanted to take it a step further. They began exploring partnerships with environmental organizations to develop a comprehensive sustainability strategy. One day, while attending an industry conference, Jasmine met with a representative from a leading environmental consultancy. "We're looking to become a pioneer in sustainable aviation," she explained. "We want to explore alternative fuels, waste reduction, and community engagement initiatives." The consultant nodded enthusiastically. "You're on the right track. Many airlines are still lagging in this area. If you can lead the charge, it will not only benefit the environment, but also resonate with your customers." Inspired, Jasmine returned to Skyward with a renewed sense of purpose. She and Marcus organized a sustainability summit, inviting employees, industry experts, and community leaders to brainstorm innovative ideas. The event was a resounding success, generating a wealth of actionable initiatives. One standout idea was the introduction of a Green Miles program, where passengers could earn points for choosing eco-friendly options, such as carbon offsetting their flights or participating in community cleanup events. This initiative not only encouraged sustainable practices, but also engaged passengers in a meaningful way. As the months rolled on, Skyward Airlines became known not just for its exceptional service, but also for its commitment to sustainability and security. The company's reputation soared, and customer loyalty deepened. However, as Jasmine and Marcus celebrated their successes, they remained acutely aware of the ever-changing landscape of the airline industry. New competitors emerged, and economic fluctuations posed ongoing challenges. They knew they had to stay agile and innovative to maintain their position. One evening, while reviewing market trends, Marcus turned to Jasmine. "We need to think bigger. What if we explored international routes? Expanding our network could open up new revenue streams and enhance our brand presence globally." Jasmine considered the idea. "It's a significant undertaking, but if we approach it strategically, it could be a game changer. We need to ensure we have the right partnerships and infrastructure in place." They began conducting market research, analyzing potential destinations, and assessing demand. The prospect of international expansion ignited a new wave of excitement within the company. Jasmine and Marcus organized brainstorming sessions with their teams, encouraging everyone to contribute ideas for potential routes and partnerships. As they delved deeper into the planning process, they faced logistical challenges, regulatory hurdles, and the need for additional resources. Yet, the team's enthusiasm was infectious, and they rallied together to tackle each obstacle. One day, during a strategy meeting, Jasmine looked around the room at her team, diverse, passionate, and united in their vision. "We've come so far together," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "Let's not just aim to be a great airline. Let's aim to be a global leader in the industry, known for our values, our service, and our commitment to making a difference." The room erupted in applause, and Jasmine felt a surge of determination. They were ready to take flight into new horizons, embracing the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. With the decision to pursue international expansion solidified, Jasmine and Marcus set their sights on a strategic plan that would guide Skyward Airlines into new markets. They assembled a dedicated task force, comprising members from various departments, to ensure a comprehensive approach to the expansion. The team began by identifying key regions with high travel demand and potential partnerships. They focused on destinations that aligned with Skyward's values, places where they could make a positive impact on local communities and the environment. During one of their brainstorming sessions, Mia, the security ambassador, raised her hand. "What if we also incorporate cultural exchange programs into our international routes? We could partner with local organizations to promote tourism and support community initiatives." Jasmine smiled, impressed by Mia's insight. "That's a fantastic idea. It aligns perfectly with our commitment to community engagement and sustainability. Let's explore how we can integrate that into our marketing strategy." As the task force worked diligently, they faced challenges typical of international expansion: navigating regulatory requirements, establishing partnerships with foreign airlines, and ensuring compliance with international safety standards. However, the team's collaborative spirit and shared vision kept them motivated. One afternoon, while reviewing potential routes, Marcus received a call from a prominent travel influencer who had been following Skyward's journey. "I'd love to collaborate with you on a campaign to promote your international launch," the influencer proposed. "Your commitment to sustainability and community engagement resonates with my audience." Excited by the opportunity, Marcus quickly agreed. "Let's set up a meeting to discuss how we can work together to showcase our new routes and initiatives." As the influencer's campaign began to take shape, Jasmine and Marcus realized the power of storytelling in connecting with their audience. They decided to create a series of videos highlighting the unique experiences passengers could have on their new international routes, featuring local cultures, cuisines, and community projects. The launch of Skyward's international routes was set for the following spring, and anticipation grew. Jasmine and Marcus organized a grand unveiling event, inviting employees, partners, and media representatives to celebrate the occasion. On the day of the event, The atmosphere buzzed with excitement. Jasmine took the stage, her heart racing. Today marks a new chapter for Skyward Airlines. We're not just expanding our routes, we're expanding our commitment to making a positive impact on the world. Together, we'll connect people, cultures, and communities. As she spoke, the audience erupted in applause, and Jasmine felt a wave of pride wash over her. This was more than just a business venture. It was a mission to create meaningful connections across the globe. The first international flights launched, to great fanfare, and passengers embraced the new routes with enthusiasm. The Skyward Experience app was updated to include features tailored to international travel, such as language translation tools and local recommendations. However, as the excitement of the launch settled, Jasmine and Marcus faced a new challenge. They received feedback from passengers about inconsistent service quality on some of the new routes. While the initial response was overwhelmingly positive, they knew they had to address these concerns swiftly to maintain their reputation. Jasmine called an emergency meeting with the operations team. We need to ensure that every passenger receives the same level of service, no matter where they're flying. Let's conduct a thorough review of our training programs and identify areas for improvement. The team sprang into action, conducting surveys and gathering feedback from flight crews and passengers alike. They discovered that some international routes had different operational protocols, leading to inconsistencies in service delivery. To address this, Jasmine and Marcus implemented a comprehensive training program specifically designed for international operations. They brought in experts to provide cultural sensitivity training and customer service workshops, tailored to the diverse backgrounds of their passengers. As the training rolled out, Jasmine felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were not just expanding their reach. They were deepening their commitment to excellence and ensuring that every passenger felt valued and respected. Months later, as Skyward Airlines continued to thrive, Jasmine and Marcus reflected on their journey. They had navigated challenges, embraced opportunities, and built a company that stood for more than just profit. Skyward was a beacon of hope, connection, and community. One evening, as they stood on the rooftop garden overlooking the city, Marcus turned to Jasmine. "We've come a long way, but I can't help but wonder what's next for us." Jasmine smiled, her eyes sparkling with determination. "The sky is the limit, Marcus. We'll continue to innovate, adapt, and lead with our values. Together, we'll chart a course for a brighter future." With that, they raised their glasses in a toast to the journey ahead, one filled with promise, purpose, and the unwavering belief that they could soar to new heights. As Skyward Airlines soared across new international horizons, Jasmine and Marcus realized that their journey was evolving beyond flights and routes. They had cultivated a company culture rooted in resilience, innovation, and empathy, but the world around them was changing fast, and with it came new challenges on the horizon. One afternoon, Jasmine was reviewing correspondence when she found an invitation to an international aviation summit, an esteemed gathering of global industry leaders. Intrigued, she suggested to Marcus that they attend, eager to both showcase Skyward's successes and stay attuned to emerging trends. At the summit, Jasmine and Marcus mingled with executives and pioneers presenting pioneering technologies, climate initiatives, and emerging business models. Among the conversations, they encountered discussions about radical shifts in air travel, autonomous aircraft, hyper-efficient fuel alternatives, and digital transformation reshaping every facet of the industry. Inspired yet cautious, Jasmine whispered to Marcus during a keynote, "We've done so much, but this will change everything. We need to start thinking about how we can lead in this future, not just keep up." Marcus nodded, eyes gleaming. "Agreed. We must be bold. Skyward's strength isn't just its past or present, it's our willingness to reinvent without losing who we are." Returning home, they convened a future-facing task force, composed of engineers, strategists, flight crews, and even pilots, to brainstorm what an airline of tomorrow could look like. The conversations ranged from sustainable aviation fuels to virtual reality-enhanced training programs and personalized passenger experiences utilizing AI. During one breakthrough session, a young engineer presented an ambitious proposal: a fully integrated eco-flight concept, combining zero-emission aircraft, seamless digital connectivity, and community-driven travel experiences. Jasmine's heart raced. This could be Skyward's next leap, But with innovation came inevitable obstacles: regulatory uncertainty, high development costs, and skepticism from traditional investors. Jasmine and Marcus faced these fears head-on, advocating internally and externally to secure funding and support. As months turned into years, Skyward transitioned into a pioneering force, launching pilot programs for electric aircraft, partnering with startups on smart airport technologies, and embedding digital wellness tools for crew and travelers. Through it all, Jasmine held on to a core belief: progress must be human-centered. Technology should lift people, not replace them. Marcus smiled, reflecting on their remarkable journey. From a single turbulent flight to a global leader poised to redefine the sky. And as the sun set over the horizon, casting golden light over the bustling runway, Jasmine and Marcus knew their story was far from complete. Because true leadership was an endless flight, ever forward, ever upward. With Skyward Airlines at the cusp of a technological revolution, Jasmine and Marcus embarked on an ambitious plan to position the company as a trailblazer in the era of sustainable, connected, and human-centric air travel. They knew the stakes were higher than ever. Success meant reshaping an entire industry, while failure threatened to unravel everything. The first step was Skyward's bold commitment to green aviation. Partnering with cutting-edge aerospace firms, they invested heavily in developing a fleet of electric and hybrid aircraft. The challenge was enormous, balancing safety, efficiency, and passenger comfort while navigating regulatory hurdles. Meanwhile, the company's digital transformation accelerated. Jasmine championed intuitive, AI-powered passenger assistants that personalized the travel experience, from seamless check-ins to real-time in-flight amenities. Data privacy and cybersecurity remained paramount, with rigorous safeguards embedded at every stage. Internally, Marcus fostered a culture of continuous innovation, encouraging employees at all levels to contribute ideas. Skyward's Innovation Hub was born, a vibrant space where engineers, creatives, and frontline staff collaborated on prototypes and experiments. But progress was not without resistance. Some traditionalists within the company worried that rapid change risked alienating loyal customers and destabilizing operations. Jasmine and Marcus addressed these concerns openly, hosting town halls and Q&A sessions to invite dialogue and cultivate buy-in. As Skyward prepared to unveil its new eco-friendly fleet, media buzz grew intense. The inaugural flight was scheduled on Earth Day, a symbolic gesture intertwining technology and sustainability. Jasmine and Marcus attended the launch, the culmination of years of perseverance, vision, and teamwork. The aircraft glided down the runway as passengers boarded, a testament to human ingenuity and the power of values-driven leadership. Jasmine watched from the cockpit window as the plane ascended into the sky, carrying dreams of a future where innovation and integrity soared hand in hand. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Marcus turned to Jasmine. "We've rewritten the story of Skyward Airlines, but it's not just a company anymore. It's a movement." Jasmine smiled, feeling the weight and promise of their journey. "And as long as we lead with heart, there's no limit to where we can fly." Together, they embraced the endless flight ahead, ready to navigate every challenge, inspire every teammate, and elevate every passenger toward horizons yet unseen. As the inaugural flight of Skyward Airlines' new eco-friendly fleet soared into the sky, the excitement was palpable. Passengers on board were not just flying, they were part of a historic moment in aviation. The media coverage was extensive, with journalists and influencers documenting the event, eager to share the story of a company that was redefining air travel. In the days following the launch, Jasmine and Marcus were inundated with positive feedback. Passengers praised the smoothness of the flight, the innovative features of the new aircraft, and the commitment to sustainability. Social media buzzed with hashtags like #MarFlySkyward and #EcoFlight as travelers shared their experiences and excitement. However, amidst the celebration, Jasmine remained vigilant. She knew that the true test of their innovation lay not just in the launch but in the ongoing operation of the new fleet. They needed to ensure that the aircraft performed reliably and that the service quality remained exceptional. To monitor the performance of the new fleet, Jasmine implemented a comprehensive feedback system. Passengers were encouraged to share their experiences through the Skyward Experience app, which had been updated to include features specifically for the new aircraft. The app allowed for real-time feedback, enabling the team to address any issues immediately. As the weeks passed, Jasmine and Marcus held regular meetings to review the feedback. They celebrated successes but also addressed areas for improvement. One recurring theme emerged. While passengers loved the eco-friendly features, some expressed a desire for more personalized in-flight services. Jasmine took this feedback to heart. "We need to enhance the human touch in our service," she said during a strategy session. "Let's train our crew to engage more with passengers, share the story of our sustainability efforts, and create memorable experiences." Marcus nodded in agreement. "We can also leverage technology to assist our crew without overshadowing the personal connection. Let's explore how we can use data to anticipate passenger needs." With renewed focus, they rolled out a training program for flight attendants, emphasizing the importance of storytelling and personal engagement. Crew members were encouraged to share their own experiences with sustainability and connect with passengers on a deeper level. As the new fleet continued to operate, Jasmine and Marcus noticed a significant uptick in customer satisfaction scores. Passengers appreciated the blend of innovative technology and genuine human interaction, reinforcing Skyward's reputation as a leader in the industry. However, as they celebrated these successes, a new challenge emerged. A major competitor announced plans to launch a similar eco-friendly fleet, backed by significant investment and aggressive marketing. Jasmine and Marcus knew they had to act quickly to maintain their competitive edge. "Let's not just respond. Let's lead," Jasmine said during a strategy meeting. "We need to differentiate ourselves further. What can we offer that no one else can?" The team brainstormed ideas, and one concept stood out: a partnership with environmental organizations to create a Skyward Green Fund. This fund would support global sustainability initiatives, allowing passengers to contribute to projects that aligned with their values when booking flights. Excited by the idea, Jasmine and Marcus reached out to several environmental NGOs to discuss potential collaborations. They envisioned a program where a portion of ticket sales would go directly to projects focused on reforestation, ocean cleanup, and renewable energy initiatives. As the Skyward Green Fund took shape, they launched a marketing campaign highlighting the initiative. Passengers were invited to learn about the projects they could support, creating a sense of community and shared purpose. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Passengers felt empowered to make a difference, and Skyward Airlines became synonymous with not just travel but also environmental stewardship. The initiative garnered media attention, further solidifying Skyward's position as a leader in sustainable aviation. As the months rolled on, Jasmine and Marcus reflected on their journey. They had navigated challenges, embraced innovation, and built a company that stood for more than just profit. Skyward Airlines was now a movement, a force for good in the world. One evening, as they stood on the rooftop garden overlooking the city, Marcus turned to Jasmine. "We've created something truly special here, but I can't help but wonder what's next for us." Jasmine smiled, her eyes sparkling with determination. "The sky is still the limit, Marcus. We'll continue to innovate, adapt, and lead with our values. Together, we'll chart a course for a brighter future." With that, they raised their glasses in a toast to the journey ahead, one filled with promise, purpose, and the unwavering belief that they could soar to new heights. As the celebration of the Skyward Green Fund's success settled, Jasmine and Marcus knew that their journey was entering a new, uncharted chapter. The aviation industry was evolving at lightning speed, and they were no longer just participants. They were pioneers tasked with charting the future. One morning, Marcus received an intriguing email from an emerging tech startup specializing in quantum computing applications for logistics optimization. Their proposal promised to revolutionize flight scheduling, fuel efficiency, and maintenance, areas critical to Skyward's growth and sustainability goals. Excited by the prospect, Jasmine and Marcus invited the startup's founders for a demonstration. The cutting-edge technology showcased the potential to reduce delays, lower emissions, and significantly cut operational costs. Jasmine leaned back after the presentation, her mind racing with possibilities. "If we integrate this, it could transform not just our operations but the entire industry." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "But integrating unproven technology comes with risks. We must balance innovation with safety and reliability." Together, they decided to pilot the technology on select regional routes. A dedicated team worked to integrate the quantum algorithms with Skyward's existing systems, carefully monitoring every detail. Meanwhile, Jasmine kept the workforce engaged with transparent updates about the pilot project. She encouraged feedback from pilots, crew, and ground staff, ensuring their concerns and insights shaped the integration process. The initial results were promising. Flights ran more smoothly, cancellations fell, and fuel consumption dropped noticeably. Word spread within the company and the industry, further bolstering Skyward's reputation as an innovator. Yet, no journey is without turbulence. One evening, as Marcus was reviewing the latest operational report, an alert flashed on his screen. A significant anomaly detected by the quantum system. A potential conflict in flight path scheduling threatened to cascade into broader delays. Acting swiftly, Marcus alerted Jasmine. Together, they convened an emergency response team to assess and mitigate the issue. Thanks to their preparedness and real-time monitoring, the conflict was resolved before any disruption reached passengers. The incident served as a stark reminder. Even the most advanced technologies required vigilant oversight and human judgment. Jasmine addressed the company in a live broadcast the next day. Innovation is a journey with risks and rewards. What matters is our commitment to responsibility, learning, and leading with wisdom. The team's resilience in facing challenges inspired confidence, both inside Skyward and beyond. As Jasmine and Marcus looked to the horizon, they embraced the truth that leadership was not about perfection, but about courage, adaptability, and unyielding dedication to a shared vision. Together, they prepared to navigate the unfolding skies, ready for every challenge, every opportunity, and every flight yet to come. Title: The CEO's Last Flight, Final Part. As the months rolled on, Skyward Airlines continued to thrive, becoming a beacon of innovation and sustainability in the aviation industry. The successful integration of quantum computing technology had not only optimized operations, but also reinforced the company's commitment to safety and reliability. Jasmine and Marcus had proven that with the right balance of technology and human oversight, they could navigate the complexities of modern air travel. With the Skyward Green Fund gaining traction, they expanded their initiatives, partnering with local communities around the globe to support environmental projects. Passengers were now able to see the tangible impact of their contributions, from reforestation efforts in the Amazon to ocean cleanup projects in coastal cities. This connection deepened customer loyalty and transformed travelers into advocates for sustainability. As the company celebrated its achievements, Jasmine and Marcus began to reflect on their journey. They had faced numerous challenges, from cybersecurity threats to operational hurdles, but each obstacle had only strengthened their resolve. They had built a culture of innovation, empathy, and responsibility, one that resonated with employees and passengers alike. One day, as they prepared for a company-wide meeting, Jasmine felt a wave of nostalgia wash over her. "Can you believe how far we've come?" she asked Marcus, a smile spreading across her face. "It feels like just yesterday we were fighting to keep the company afloat." Marcus chuckled, shaking his head. "And now we're leading the charge for a sustainable future in aviation. It's incredible." As they took the stage together, Jasmine looked out at the sea of familiar faces, employees who had become family, each contributing to the shared vision. "Today, we celebrate not just our successes, but the values that have guided us. We've built something extraordinary, together, and I couldn't be prouder." The room erupted in applause, and Jasmine felt a swell of gratitude. They had created a community that thrived on collaboration and shared purpose. As the meeting concluded, Jasmine and Marcus announced their next ambitious goal: to become the first airline to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. The commitment was met with enthusiasm and determination, igniting a renewed sense of purpose among the team. In the following months, they launched initiatives to further reduce emissions, invest in sustainable aviation fuels, and enhance energy efficiency across their operations. The journey was challenging, but the team's unwavering dedication propelled them forward. As the year drew to a close, Skyward Airlines was recognized with multiple awards for its commitment to sustainability and innovation. The accolades were a testament to the hard work and passion of every employee. But Jasmine and Marcus knew that the true reward lay in the impact they were making on the world. On the last day of the year, Jasmine and Marcus stood on the rooftop garden, overlooking the city as the sun set in a blaze of color. "What a year it's been," Marcus said, his voice filled with reflection. "I can't wait to see what the future holds." Jasmine smiled, her heart full. "We've built a legacy, Marcus, and as long as we stay true to our values, the sky will always be the limit." With that, they raised their glasses in a toast, not just to the past year, but to the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Together they were ready to embrace every challenge, every opportunity, and every flight yet to come. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Jasmine and Marcus knew that their journey was far from over. They were not just leaders of an airline. They were stewards of a brighter future, committed to making the world a better place, one flight at a time. And with that, they took a deep breath, ready to soar into the next chapter of their incredible journey. The end.